Hello, my wonderful, lovely friends. It's your pal Drewsif. We're going to do a quick little tutorial today. I didn't know that this was even possible with the stock plugins in Reaper, and I'm pretty hype that I just learned about it. So what we're going to do is make a little multi-band noise gate, which is really good for guitars of any sort, or basically anything that has high frequency noise sneaking through. So the example I'm using today is an old recording off of one of my albums. It's a bass recording, and for whatever reason, the space that I was recording in had mega wild RF interference, which basically shows up as a friend once put it, snakes in your guitar. So let's jump in. So here we are in Reaper. I want to start this out and just kind of show you what we're going to be doing. This is unaffected, unnoise gated. This is our bass tone here. This is a really egregious part. Running this fantastic bass amp sim from Softtube, which I won't say the name of because I'll be destroyed by YouTube, and I'm compressing the living daylights out of it, and that is entirely just so that we can bring up the noise floor as much as possible to show you what's going on. So here's a little held out note here that is very noisy. Cool. And once we're done today, it's going to sound like this. Still a little noisy. Once again, this is using Reaper's built-in EQ plugin, so this is entirely free. Here's a little bit more example. Here's some earlier bits. And then here's our gated. You shouldn't really be hearing a difference there, but that is actually the point in this little example bit, to show you that you can still play quickly and the gate does its job. So first, we're going to rename this just to make things a little bit easier. So we're going to call this side chain, and then we'll call this gate. Simple enough. Get rid of all these bands until we have one left. Set that band to a high pass, and we're going to pull it on up over here to, I would say, about 2K roughly. So it's going to sound like this. Sorry. Am I on the wrong track? Yeah, nailed it. Yes. Okay. So that's all we're hearing is the super high stuff. So let's jump over to our gate EQ. We can go ahead and get rid of these bands too. You just click on them and hit remove band. So let's start doing the fun stuff. So we'll jump over to our sidechain plugin, click on this 2 in plus out, which is our routing for the track. And we're going to change this from 2 track channels to 4 track channels. We are then going to disable outputs 1 and 2, and then enable outputs 3 and 4. So this plugin is not actually going to be sending any audio that we can hear. It's just doing nothing. So now we got that done, we can jump over to our gate, click on this little red fella here, and then click on gain here. And then we're going to go to param, and we're going to hit parameter modulation / MIDI link. Then we are going to enable parameter modulation, and we are going to click audio control signal sidechain. And then we're going to set our audio track channel here to 3 and 4. So what that's doing is listening to that output that we can't hear from this first plugin. So it's only listening to frequencies from 2K up. And from there, let's go ahead and we're going to drag our attack as quick as humanly possible, and we're going to mess with our release in a little bit. But for right now, we've got this guy set to positive down here, which is important, the direction positive. And it's doing nothing right now, which is what we are looking for. So now what you want to do is take this little slider here, which may have actually started all the way over here for you. Pull it as far left as you can before it starts getting weird like that. Before it starts doing that weird stuff. Let's drag our minimum volume all the way down. Ta-da! That is doing what we're looking for. A little bit of physics here. Lower frequencies take longer to travel and exist for longer, essentially. So the reason why we're able to use this for denoising is because the higher frequencies end quicker. Because the only thing that will keep happening within that frequency range is noise. Because your transient from your string hitting already happened, and then from there it's nothing. Now, really, we just dial in our release, and that's it. Was it maybe a little quicker? Yeah, somewhere around there. Maybe even quicker. Go to our more staccato-y section to see how it handles that. It might actually be boosting just a little bit. So let's pull our max volume all the way to 12 dB. Yeah. Yeah. So let's throw our plugins back on. Turn these off to see what it sounds like without them. Exactly the same. But now, when we go over to this held out note that's super noisy, here's without it. Real nasty. And then here's with. There's still a little bit of noise in there, but that's also, it's a amazingly, disgustingly noisy DI. But here's another example. Here's a big held out note. So without our little sidechain gate thing, you can even hear the the metronome creeping in there. And then if we turn it back on, that's another thing also where you can come in and you can finesse this release a little bit. If you're feeling like it's getting too cut off too quickly, you can slow your release a little bit. Once again, super noisy DI, but it's still doing a lot more than it was. Now that I think about it, if we set this to centered and then pull this up beyond so that instead of just coming back to your unity, your normal volume, it'll actually boost your treble just a little bit. So you can get a little extra spike there. And then we can go really ham if we turn this down. Cool. Well, there you go. That's it. Nice and simple today. Have a great day. I appreciate you.